Days are looking bright. Funny, I said bright. Anyways, because the whole fandom that I'm going for. Anyways, I'm waiting until some people come in. Some good old people to come in. Good old people, good old people. Someone needs to let everybody know that I'm here. I'm number one. I'm sorry, give me a second, y'all. It's going to take a bit of a minute. I am checking something because I'm trying to ask this one guy something, but he's not responding. Alright. Now let me stop being lazy so I can let others know what I'm doing. I'm sorry this is taking long. I'm really trying to check on this thing and make sure everybody knows that I'm here. Aha. Man, I was quick to respond to that, guys. I'm sorry. It's actually kind of related to what I'm doing, so that's why I'm taking so long. I should have been a little more prepared. It's like he started talking to me as I went live, so that's where the issue is coming from. And now, for real, let me let everybody know that I am live. All right, done. So some people should at least be aware that I am live right now. Let me make sure that went through. Yep, it went through. All right. Now I'm gonna keep this up so I can see that guy replies again. This is such a bad timing. I'm sorry, and I'm only still talking because of the people who probably watch this right after this live ends. So secure, contain, protect has it right there. Now here is we're going to be learning. Now don't forget I'm Dr. Lennon, and oh hold on, got mine off of Mad C out. Yes, that's it. That's the one right there. Sorry. I guess since I told everybody since I'm on here, I guess I could wait a little bit and see if some people would be on here. All right. Seriously. Y'all know this? Now, on to what we're going to be learning. We're going to be learning since when I was doing the second lecture for level twos, I've noticed that it's been confusing for y'all to be able to understand the meanings mostly towards Keter and Euclid. So I'm going to be using some SCPs to get a better example, right, to help you out on what I mean by those. Because we all know that you can always go back to it on the past videos, but we all know that safe doesn't mean that the anomaly is safe. It just means that it's easy to contain. While Euclid, it means that it's kind of like the worry that you need for safe is not as high. But like with Euclid, it's a little bit high, but it's like you don't have to worry too much, but you still need to proceed with caution. With Keter, it's going to be a lot harder to contain, and that's what it means. Now, I'm going to be starting off with a Euclid SCP known as SCP-008. Now, SCP-008 is otherwise known as the zombie plague. So it's known to actually, let me pull this up so I can get a better example, because it'd be better if I read it to you. Since sometimes 008 is easy to forget on how it's able to form. But here's a description of what it is. SCP-008 is a complex prion samples of... Okay, hold on, let me reread that. I'm reading too fast. SCP-008 is a complex prion, samples of which are stored in each of the known G2 sites. Research into SCP-008 is highly classified and primarily aimed to prevent research which may lead to the synthesis of SCP-008 in the distant future. Traits of SCP-008 prion include 100% infectiousness, 100% lethality, transmission through exposed mucus, membranes, and all body fluids, not airborne or waterborne. So that's the reason why I have to read that again, because I was a bit confused if it was airborne. Turns out it is not. But I'm going to get to the main point, because what's more important is knowing of it transmitting to others. So just like with normal zombies and all the other stuff, they have to either bite or like attack you in order to infect you, right? At least put something like create a wound to the point where it can spread its disease inside that wound. So that is how they pretty much transmit their disease, right? Their plague. So the reason why they're Euclid, because they're a Euclid SCP. So the reason why they are Euclid is simply because it can easily be dealt with, right? Just get beta 7 in there or whatever, and then they'll take him out. So yeah, they're pretty easy to take out and all that stuff, because it's, after all, it's either you have to bite or cause another, like cause a wound in order to infect. Not only that, but they don't run, they just walk. So again, easy to take out if it walks, right? Just walks. Now, that's the only reason why they're Euclid, because it's like they're not that hard to deal with, but it does require caution and extra resource. So that's an example of how the zombie plague is a Euclid SCP. So again, they transmit their disease through the teeth, or if they just scratch you. Like, just imagine this is your leg. They scratch you. They pretty much transmit your their disease inside your wounds. But keep in mind, they only walk. They don't run, as far as I know, and they're pretty easy to take out. Now, another thing to know, though, is that the reason why they're also classified as SCP instead of just a normal disease, right, is that they're not from the Earth. So the Foundation has speculated that if, because they're not. Hold on, what did the thing say? Because they said that it wasn't from the Earth. Because I'm like reading the files as I go. So it said there is strong evidence to suggest that SCP-008 itself did not form naturally on Earth. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. It probably is from Earth, just didn't form naturally on Earth. Since variants of similar complexity would have displaced much of the ecosystem. In 1959, a short collaborative effort with the USSR to locate G2 sites and eliminate SCP-008 was negotiated following their discovery. The status of SCP-008 in Russian custody since collaboration ended. Collaboration ended is unknown. So pretty much, it didn't form naturally on Earth, which is the reason why it's the way it is. Now, since I'm trying the best I can to explain this here, I'm sorry. got a little bit distracted because again I kind of went live at the worst possible time. But I'm gonna move on to the reason why SCP-409 is pretty much designated Keter, right? So SCP-409. SCP-409. Now we all know that Keter means that it's hard to contain, and this is a good example of that because it's pretty much a crystal. So here goes, I don't know, like here goes a bit like some kind of crystal right here. Let's just say that's a crystal, right? So what it is that there are like a whole bunch of them. So what they do is they grow at a certain point, then they explode then into like little shards because these are contagious crystals. So it doesn't matter where it is. It could be on any object or an organism. They will explode and then they will spread. So pretty much, it grows to a certain point. It explodes into little bitty shards. Then those shards create more crystals. Then it explodes again, and you see how it's troublesome to keep it contained because it's no matter where it. I think there is some material that it can't exactly grow on, but I just know that on certain objects that it can grow in it, and then it's mostly known for going into organisms because of researchers going in there to retrieve it. They faced heavy losses because of that reason. So this is why it's Keter. So just imagine if this were to get loose. Think of how much the world would be covered in crystals. And I don't even know, but probably water can be infected by this. Just it grows in water or something like that. I don't know. That's just a theory in my opinion. But also the thing of this can also cause an XK class scenario. Now, for the ones who don't remember XK class scenarios, basically it means end of the world. So, like I said, if this were to spread, it will explode, keep exploding, keep creating more. But it probably would take a while because they do take 3 hours to grow. But it will pretty much cover the whole world, and that would be a very, very big issue. And let's keep in mind that they were found in caves. So, again, when retrieving it, probably what it was is that a lot of them they faced heavy losses because those people were surrounded by too many of the crystals. Some of them might have exploded on them, and they just didn't know it was going to grow on them. So pretty much that's the reason why they are Keter class. And I've never heard much about them. Like I would say breaking containment, but it's like they're an object, so they can't just break out of containment. You have to have somebody to steal them or somebody make a mistake and then cause them to like pretty much cause a very big infection. But yeah. Now I'm going to be right back because I want to go check on something. So just give me a second. Alrighty, I am back. Okay. So, again, I want to explain this one more time. Oh, it's right here. The zombie plague. It infects organisms, so just pretend that this is a mouth. This is teeth, right? Either if you get bit or if you get probably like clawed at and then you're wounded, right? Then the disease will pretty much just go inside of your blood cells and pretty much infect you. Same way as the teeth would. Anything that infects wounds or whatever, then the disease or the plague will find its way into that wound. Anywhere where there's a wound, or it can find its way to basically make any wound possible and then just get in. That's what it will do, and then it'll infect you, and then you're pretty much a zombie, and there's no hope for you. There's no cure, except there. I think there has been a cure, but that was by SCP 500, or basically SCP 5000. No, 500. Sorry, I said 03 times. And again, the crystal. Keep in mind that there are a ton of these things. So let's just draw that. I just like drawing it so you get an idea. Or maybe I just like drawing because I just like drawing, but just imagine that these are crystals, right? So just imagine the reason why it could be on the reason why it is a Keter and how it could be an XK. So these grow to a certain length, but once they're done growing to a certain length, they explode. Then they spread. So if they were to like spread all around here, then there would just be more, 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 and you just gotta use something. I think there's a special kind of material that you can use to keep them contained. But as far as I know, I don't know what that is. But pretty much, if it explodes, then it creates more, just like what I just showed right here. Then those exact same ones that I just drew on there will explode, and then just keep on, infecting. So, and because you think that they would infect just organisms, because I see one person in here, and I don't think they was here when I explained this. So you would think that they infect just organisms, but really they also infect like certain objects, right? So they can be inside an object and grow inside there. Wherever they can grow, it's gonna grow inside there. But again, we have them contained, so there might be some kind of material in order to contain it. I'm gonna have to look at the file again, but that's pretty much an example of why SCP-409 is Keter. And I'm not sure if I did explain that they not explain, but I'm not sure if I said that was SCP-409. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that part. Now I want to move on to safe. Now another thing is that people were getting confused with safe class and stuff. So again, what I'm trying to say is that safe class doesn't mean that the SCP is safe. It just means that it's easy to contain, which means you should have no problems. I always use the example of a box of peaches, but this time I want to use a box of pills, right? So SCP-500, it's a box of pills. Is it a box of pills, or is it a box, or is it just? I think it's just a. As a matter of fact, the link is right here, so I can go see that file. Yeah. So my bad. I guess I just liked explaining it with the peaches that I kind of mixed up what I was talking about. But let me continue with the explanation. So, SCP-500 is a plastic bottle or cap bottle, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, because it basically what you use to contain, not contain, but put your medicine in, right? So let's just put that in there. So there it goes, right? SCP-500. So SCP-500 is a safe class. Now, it has like 47 pills. Let's just say these are pills, right? So they can cure any disease, which is like, again, like what I was saying earlier, is that it can be used to cure people who is infected by the zombie plague. So that's a safe class. This is a safe class SCP. It doesn't really harm you, but imagine a tub, right? Now, there's an SCP that is a tub, and it's pretty dangerous. Now, I don't know what it exactly does because it's not really one of my favorite SCPs, but I will use that as a reference, right? Or an example. So just imagine you're just taking a normal bath or whatever. Next thing you know, that bath is probably eating you alive or it's sucking you in. And the only thing you need to do is just not get in it. That's a safe class because it's easy to contain. All you have to do is just pick up the tub and then just take it to containment. So see the clear difference? In most safe class SCPs are mostly objects just like this. Well, let me use this one. So yeah, that's pretty much an example of that. Now, I wish I could see who this person is, but I don't think it really matters too much. But if you have any questions, please ask me because I like seeing comments and I want to answer people's comments. And I dropped my freaking marker because I played too much. Because if there's no questions, then I guess there's just no questions for me to answer. Now, I want to use. I was going to say I want to use another SCP, for example, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to groups of interest, right? So let's use a group of interest that doesn't like each other, but it's like it doesn't have to do with the foundation. It could just be the GOC, which means Global Occult Coalition. They're part of the UN, otherwise known as the United Nations, and they're known for destroying anomalies. It doesn't matter if they contain it. They don't contain it. They just destroy, which is something that the Serpent's Hand hates, because the Serpent's Hand doesn't like the Foundation because we contain anomalies, so they see us as jailers. And the Chaos Insurgency is no different, except they kind of see them as a little bit of like slavers because they want to use the SCPs for their own gain. But the Serpent's Hand wants to free SCPs. But the GOC wants to kill them. So pretty much killing an SCP is pretty much just like losing a brother to them, So that's pretty much the beef between them. And the Serpent's Hand is also one of the groups that is that hangs around the Wanderer's Library. Now, for those who don't know what the Wanderer's Library is, the Wanderer's Library is pretty much like a library with all kinds of books from different universes or dimensions or whatever. It's like they don't just have books. They got magazines. They got comic books. They got newspapers. They got pretty much anything that you can read on and just have in your hand that you can just flip over and flip over. That's what they have. So that's pretty much what the Wanderer's Library is. And, a lot of people from different dimensions come in there to read from the library. And that's all I can know is that they just have a lot of books. There's, I guess, more to it, but that's classified. Now, a lot of unprovoked attacks on the global coalition is from the Serpent's Hand. Because again, they kill SCPs. That's something that they're totally against because they want to free SCPs. They're not pretty much freeing SCPs if they're getting killed or whatever. So that's pretty much all I had to pretty much explain about their beef, right? Now let's talk about let me see, chaos. If I want to do chaos insurgency, let's use the chaos insurgency. Now, the chaos insurgency started with a few groups that was from Alpha One, which is part of the SCP Foundation before they went rogue, which is the reason why the Red Right Hand has when it comes to like tryouts, they have like loyalty tests or something like that. But the main thing I want to talk about is not their origin, but simply the beef between each other. So the SCP Foundation, pretty much contains anomalies and just studies them, right? While the Chaos Insurgency like to take these anomalies, study them, and then use them for their own personal gain. So pretty much these are the bad guys. They're kind of the good guys, not gonna lie. There's some pretty good liars here in the Foundation. Pretty correct people in the Foundation. But it's like, to be honest, there's going to be corruption everywhere. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. I'm going to need to use some wipes. But yeah, that's pretty much their beef. And the thing about it, though, is that, like, it's like it keeps happening simply because of them. They're a threat to the world. Because if they're using it for their own personal gain, just imagine the XK class scenarios. Almost like what the Serpent's Hand is doing. If they're freeing SCPs, just imagine they free the wrong SCP. Then that's a bit of, no, that's not a bit, that's a big issue. Because with some of these groups of interest, they'll have beef with each other, but at most of the times, there doesn't need to be. But with them, it kind of needs to be, and it just keeps on going because, they keep trying to take anomalies, and then they're trying to stop them from trying to pretty much bring chaos because, it's chaos insurgency. It's in the name, chaos. And I don't really have much to explain after that. I could talk about the partnerships, though. The SCP in the global, let me write that better, occult coalition. Now, sometimes the SCP Foundation has a bit of beef with the global occult coalition, but the global occult coalition sometimes can get along with the SCP Foundation, just as the SCP Foundation can get along with the global occult coalition, because again, they destroy anomalies. And then the SCP Foundation is okay with destroying anomalies unless if it's necessary. Let's say there's an anomaly they can't exactly contain, it won't exactly be in containment, so they gotta kill it. And sometimes if there is like an anomaly that is in containment, but it changes into something where it needs to be killed, somehow escapes containment or whatever, flees the facility, then that's when they're going to probably need some help from the global occult coalition because they know that the SCP turned into something that they just can't stop. Now, if anything, their partnership is just, in my opinion, legendary because it's like I don't know. I just like their partnerships. It's pretty legendary because most of the time it's like the GOC doing the work. Because if anything, when you want guys that to like shoot things the most, that's the reason why they call on them because they're just the guys with the big guns. You know, they got all kinds of machinery. They got all kinds of vehicles with weapons on it. I'm talking. You can probably name a weapon that they have, and these guys got it. Because after all, they're very well funded because they're part of the UN, which is the United Nations, which is an actual official government. You know, while the SCP, on the other hand, the SCP Foundation, they get funded sometimes and stuff, but not as much as the GOC. Because the GOC is part of the UN. The UN is worldwide, just like the SCP Foundation. The only thing is, though, is that the SCP Foundation focused their resources into containing knowledge instead of spending it on weapons, while the GOC spends on weapons, killing SCPs. I'm gonna keep saying that multiple times. I'm gonna keep saying that multiple times in like other lectures and stuff, just so people can remember, because people can't seem to remember that, and I'm just want to make that clear. Now, let's see partnerships with, I guess, the CI and Serpentine. Now, I don't exactly see this happening. Serpentine working with the Chaos Insurgency is probably a big no-no. But again, they still SCPs sometimes. Because at least with the GOC, they don't exactly steal SCPs from the Foundation. Let's just say if they were to get out of containment, then they'll take that opportunity to, kill the SCP like they're like some kind of crocodile or alligator or something like that. Always the opportunity for a kill, no matter how much the guy. Just the opportunity to kill. But yeah, pretty much they steal SCPs most of the time from the Foundation. So that's the only reason why I'm bringing up their partnerships is because just imagine them working together to infiltrate the SCP Foundation. The CI gets to steal some SCPs. The Serpentines get to steal some SCPs. But yet again, I don't see it that way because they want to free SCPs. So the only reason they will probably be partnering up with them is if they are trying to double cross the Chaos Insurgency, take the SCPs that they took, and then free the SCPs that they had stolen. It's just their goals are a little bit similar. Take from the Foundation, except that one's for personal gain and the other's just for freedom. Just want to make that very clear. Let's see how much time do I have? Let's see, 30 minutes. All right. So, what else is there to teach? For the two people in here, is there anything you want me to probably talk about? Or no? I don't know. Because I'm really supposed to wrap this up, but I want to at least save some time to probably talk about one more, subject about this stuff. Maybe ask a question about this that you probably don't understand. Is there an SCP that you might know that you want me to bring up, and then I'll probably look at the files on there and then start, probably learn it and then get a description. Tell it to y'all. Who knows? Because again, it's been like 38 minutes. I was supposed to be done like 5 minutes ago. I really do be taking my time on here. I really take my time on here. So let's see. While that's happening, I'm gonna check on something real quick. All right, where did I leave that streaming thing? Oh, there it is. See that red dot? All right, looks like there's no questions, so I guess I'll just end it here. Now, again, this is my first time doing lectures, so that's the only reason why it's hard for me to, talk and explain certain things. So, next time I'll probably do better because after all, I'm doing one on Friday. I'm pretty much doing it almost every day until like the weekend because the weekends is when I'm off, so I won't be here at work giving you lectures about this stuff. So I hope you at least learned a little bit of something, and I will, be here tomorrow. So I'll be seeing y'all.